small bars or big venues?
You know, big venues are super cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like that's a really cool thing because bigger venues kind of make you feel like I don't want like you've arrived. Like, all the hard work that you've put in is worth it, or not as worth it has come to fruition.
Uh-huh.
But I like the small bars because like they're intimate and they're hot and they're sweaty and they could be violent. Like we've played Blood Feast, we've played some. I mean, we've played we've played amazing shows, but some of the greatest ones we've done have been in these small little bars where it's, people are just packed in and, it's
Yeah.
just total chaos and people are, moshing and they're running into your equipment and knocking monitors over. Like that's it. Like, to me, I like the small clubs because for me too, with bigger venues comes bigger stages, bigger production, and it's more nerve wracking, at least for me. I can't speak for the other guys, but for me, it's more nerve wracking at a bigger venue.
I remember the last show that you guys played at the Bug Jar.
Yeah.
There was some type of rubber, like dummy head that got thrown into the crowd, and by the end of the night, that thing was like ripped into pieces.
And we sometimes we play St. Vitus in Brooklyn, and there have been there's a fan that usually wears like this big rubber horse head mask, and it's just so bizarre, but they're the cool things about playing the small clubs.
Yeah.
I
definitely think that Bug Jar show was one of the best, like, energy-packed nights that I've ever been there.
Thank you, man. That means a lot. I'm happy to hear that. I tell you, that was actually the first time the Grim Dystopian saw us too, so it's cool. It was definitely a fun night. We definitely had a good time.
And I think you guys went on at like freaking 12 or 1 o'clock.
Well, that's because because you people up there in North New York, you guys are like night owls.
And it was a Sunday.
Yes.
I remember it was a freaking Sunday.
Yes. Because my buddy Hartman from Embludgement was there too, and he was there with I'm sorry, hang on, and he was there from the guy that runs Severed Records. So yeah, all you guys are night owls, man.
Yeah, no, a Bug Jar show. This started at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, so. Exactly. That's what they told us, and we were a little shocked by that, but yeah.
So, are you into political bands or non-political bands?
Non-political, man. I understand.
Me neither. I'm kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, like I understand like your Lamb of Gods, and they feel like they can help the younger generation, and I get that aspect of it, the responsibilities. Like, I understand it, but I don't think that politics and music, if you want to put your politics in your music, then that's fine. But when bands start to preach it, that's when I kind of go, I can't do it. Like, I want to listen to, or I want to go to a show, to get away from the bullshit, and
exactly.
I don't want to be, burdened with your political views. Save that for, other times. And I just don't think a stage is the place to do it.
And I asked you that on purpose because I know a lot of thrash metal bands do that nowadays. And I mean, it's cool, but I feel like I'm going to like a church recession or something, like.
Well, it's true because I guess politics have always had a place in thrash metal. And again, like, it's okay if you want to write about it, but preaching, I'm just not into the preachment. Same thing with religion. I just don't. I don't need to know your personal views. Like, you want to put your personal views in a song, that's fine, but I don't need you to be sharing it from the stage. Like, save that shit for somewhere else.
On the internet or something.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, man. Even there, sometimes I see these posts by these, famous names, and I'm like, oh, do you even have to talk? Like, just stop. You know what I mean? Like, just stick to screaming, really. But, I get it, because some of these guys feel like they can help the world and help a younger generation again, I understand that responsibility, but I just don't think it has a place in music.
So, where would you consider to have like the tightest thrash metal community, like that you saw when touring the world?
Wow, man. That that's a hard one because Japan, when we played Japan, they are just
Yep.
they are super passionate about their thrash metal. Like they just love it. And I have a couple of friends that I met from Japan who post on Instagram and Facebook, and they have opened up my eyes to a huge number of thrash metal bands that I would have never even heard of. So Japan, those they are super into thrash metal. When we played Germany, they are just lovers of metal, heavy metal. Doesn't matter, classical metal or classic metal. Like your Saxons up until they're real. I don't. At least in the people in Germany that I met, they're really not they're really not death metal driven. A lot of them are old school metal or thrash metal. And then when we played Peru, those fans were just insane. I don't know, man. It's hard to say because everybody has their own little community of how they deal with it. They all love it, and they all love it different ways. But the best, I don't know, man. That's a really hard question to answer.
Yeah. I've been told Europe, California, and Mexico.
Europe, yes. Mexico, we haven't played there, but I mean, we do have some people of Mexican descent that come to our shows, and they are phenomenal. California, yeah, we played California a couple times, and there were certain spots that were better than others, but I guess so, but definitely Europe, and I would imagine Mexico for sure.
Right on. Yeah, I saw a picture, like a promotion picture that you guys were in Japan. I'm like, holy fuck, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, we were there twice, man.
How was that travel? How did you bring your gear there?
Well, because we were doing a festival, all we were responsible was just, and this is usually when we travel, whether it be Peru, whether it be Germany. It's usually we just bring our guitars, and Adam, my drummer, brings sticks or he doesn't even really bring his hardware, just sticks and anything else he needs. Because these big festivals, somebody usually supplies the gear, or I think in Japan and Germany they rented gear, so it's usually top of the line. So we just really bring our guitars, pedals, and maybe little effects pedals if we need them. And Adam usually just travels with sticks and just some keys or little hardware that he may think he needs.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be fucking impossible if they required you to bring your own gear.
Dude, it's tough, bro, because I'm sure flying is expensive alone, and then even the guitars are expensive. I know when we first met Razor, we first played with those guys a couple years back in New York, they traveled with no gear. Like they were when Ed Farsity from Armageddon Productions, when he booked the show, that in the contract was that Razor needs to be supplied with gear. So of course Ed comes to us and says, "Hey guys, do you mind Razor using your gear?" And we were of course we were like, "No, absolutely not." And so they flew in with absolutely nothing. They just kind of showed up with their bags, and they used our guitars and our kit. And
I feel like that would be tough, like not playing on the just a guitar. And I mean, I could do like a rig, like an amplifier and a cab, but a fucking guitar.
I agree, bro.
Here you go, play a set with it.
Dude, I agree. I'm not a guitar player, but I agree. I don't know how they do it. I really don't. I really don't. But they did. They pulled it off, and it was a great show. So
Right. So what's been the best part about releasing the new album?
I think that well, you talk about Future State, or you talk about the EP, or both?
Both.
Both. Okay. Future State, I think the really exciting thing about that was it was the first Blood Feast record in X amount of years. It was being released by Hell's Headbangers, which is one of the best metal labels out there. And people were excited about it, so it made us even more excited about it. And then, of course, we get the reviews were coming in, and they were all pretty positive. And I think with Chop, Slice, and Dice, I think the real exciting part of bringing that out was redoing older songs, in the way we had been playing them. And I think that was exciting for us, and especially exciting for Adam, because these were songs that he felt should have been played back in the day. And so I think just releasing new stuff ultimately is really the cool thing, and in the hopes that people dig it. And
yeah, I see Hell's Headbangers. I looked on the Bandcamp and I'm like, holy shit! Like they do cassettes, vinyl. There was something weird that I saw. What was it? I don't know. Oh, it's this CD. They printed it in a specific way that I've never seen before. The Future State of Wicked. Like, I don't know. It's just sweet.
Well, they did. When we released Chop, Slice, and Dice, they did a vinyl. It was a cutout vinyl, the shape of our logo.
Yeah. No, actually, that's what I was talking about. My bad.
No, it's okay, brother. I knew what you meant. It's okay.
I was like, what the fuck was that weird thing that I saw that they were selling?
Dude, when they told us they were going to do it, we were like, no way. And when we got it in the mail, we were like, holy crap. Like, these things are amazing. And,
right.
And for record collectors, and they sound decent. And for record collectors, they really loved them. When we first got confronted by Hell's Headbangers back in the day, Adam had come to me and said, hey, man, do you know anything about these Hell's Headbangers? And I was like, you know what, dude? Like, they put out killer releases, and I told the brother, because a bunch of brothers own the label, and I was telling Chase, one of the brothers, I said, dude, the one thing that sold me on you guys is your merchandise is awesome. Like, I probably have 5 or 6 sweatshirts or hoodies that I got from Hell's Headbangers, and they are super great quality. So I told Adam, I said, hey, man, listen, if anything, we're going to get some really killer hoodies out of them. So,
we're going to get some good merch. Let's do it.
Oh, dude, and them guys, and they were fans, which helps. And they're smart, man. The guys are young and they're hungry and they love metal and they love the bands. And that's really a big key.
Yeah, they don't really think of it as like a pure business. Like, they support the product.
Dude,
well.
they really don't. It was one really cool thing a couple of years ago. They put out, I think they only put out like 100. They did it for Deceased. It was like a wooden coffin box, maybe about, 4 feet long or whatever. And it was filled with like their old CDs or something, or like all kinds of paraphernalia. And it was super cool. And it had like Deceased on the coffin lid, and they just think out of the box, and that's what makes them special. And I love them. I can't say enough good things about them.
They definitely, like my buddy Mike. I think you remember Mike.
Yeah.
He made you sign everything.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, man. He was actually the one that got me to go to that show, because I wasn't really huge into thrash metal.
Oh, okay.
And then I saw that. Okay, I used to be into thrash metal in middle school and high school.
Okay.
And then I kind of grew out of it.
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, yo, man, you ought to come. I'm like, fuck it. Let's do it. So I'm back in the loop.
12 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah, 12 o'clock. I think the worst part was I had college the next day. And I had to drive an hour and a half.
Oh, dude. Well, thank you for coming.
it was a good time. So, funniest moment ever when performing?
Funniest moment? Well, I could tell you that this isn't going to be it's not my funniest moment, but it's a funniest moment that happened to somebody else in the band that we still laugh about to this day. So, we were playing Japan, and in Japan, the drinking flows very freely.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in the middle of our set, and Tom, my bass player, had one too many. And he was fine. Like, he played great, and nothing against his performance. He was awesome. He's a great stage performer, great, amazing bass player. And he stumbled backwards and fell into the kit. And like in the middle of the song, and I just remember, we still laugh about today. And I remember, if I close my eyes, like, I remember it to this day. I literally watched him go, and I tried to save him, and he just fell. And I like looked at him, and he was on his ass, and he picked right, didn't miss a beat, didn't miss a note, just stood right back up. And I was on stage, and I don't think I got. There may have been like 2 or 3 lines, and I didn't even get out. Like it was so funny, and the kicker to that, the rest of the days we were there, he had this big bruise on his hip down his ass cheek. We still laugh about it today, because when you're in Japan and you go to these restaurants, you kind of have to sit in the floor. You know what I mean? Like you're not sitting in a chair, you're sitting on the floor. Well, watching him with a sore ass try to get in and off, get up and down off the floor, it was like he literally had to tuck and roll to get out from under a table. It literally was hilarious.
How was it after the show?
Oh, dude, we were hysterical.
In the van.
Oh, we backstage, we were hysterical in the dressing room. We were just laughing our ass off. And like I said, to this day, Tom always brings it up and we just laugh.